The Dallas Cowboys, a franchise known as much for their brand as for their boldness, continue to shape the narrative of the NFL offseason with a series of calculated, strategic moves that speak volumes about their ambitions entering the upcoming draft. In an offseason defined by cap gymnastics and roster recalibration, Dallas took decisive action by restructuring the contract of cornerstone players Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, creating a staggering $56.6 million in cap space. These moves weren't merely about financial flexibility. They were statements of intent, positioning the franchise to maneuver aggressively both in free agency and in the draft, while also laying the groundwork for future negotiations with emerging stars. One of those stars is Micah Parsons, the all-pro pass rusher whose impact on the defensive side of the ball has been nothing short of transformative since entering the league. Parsons, who is currently set to play the 2025 season on his fifth-year option worth just over $22 million, now finds himself in a market where elite edge rushers are commanding north of $35 million annually. Given the trajectory of his career, the accolades he's accumulated, and the disruptive force he represents on every snap, it is not a matter of if, but when Dallas will need to lock him down with a long-term extension. The newly created cap space is not just an accounting maneuver. It's a proactive step toward maintaining the core of a team with championship aspirations. While the front office handles financials and contract logistics, the roster has also seen a notable addition under center. The Cowboys acquired quarterback Joe Milton from the New England Patriots in exchange for a 2025 fifth-round pick, while also receiving a seventh-round pick in return. On paper, it's a modest investment, but the implications run deeper. Milton, a sixth-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, showed flashes of potential during his brief stint in New England, notably leading the Patriots to an upset win over the Buffalo Bills in the season finale. That performance, though limited in sample size, was enough for the Cowboys to take notice and take action. Milton brings to Dallas a cannon for an arm, tantalizing athleticism, and a physical profile that jumps off the scouting report. Though raw, his ceiling is considerable. In a league that increasingly values mobility and improvisation from its quarterbacks, Milton fits the mold of a modern-day signal caller who can extend plays and make defenses pay with deep strikes. While he won't be threatening Dak Prescott for the starting job anytime soon, his presence in the quarterback room adds depth, intrigue, and a possible insurance policy in the event of injury, an all-too-real concern for a team that has seen its starter miss chunks of multiple seasons over the last 5 years. The bigger conversation, however, remains centered on what this Cowboys team will be heading into the new season. Opinions diverge sharply. Some, like analyst Dan Orlovsky, believe the Cowboys are poised to be a significantly improved squad, provided two key conditions are met. Prescott must remain healthy, and Dallas must find a legitimate receiving threat opposite CeeDee Lamb. Orlovsky points to a young and improving offensive line, the emergence of tight end Jake Ferguson, and the potential impact of newly acquired running back Javonte Williams as reasons for optimism. He sees a defense ready to ascend under the leadership of new coordinator Matt Eberflus, whose transition from a heavy man-to-man scheme to a zone-based system could elevate the unit's consistency and versatility. But for every ounce of optimism, there's a counterpunch of skepticism. Stephen A. Smith, never one to mince words, raised eyebrows and voices as he dismantled the hopeful projections. Citing a pattern of underperformance in the biggest moments and the overwhelming number of ifs required for success, Smith questioned whether Dallas is even in the same tier as divisional rivals Philadelphia and Washington. He pointed out the irony in declaring a team much better while listing a litany of prerequisites, health, improvement on defense, offensive cohesion, that have eluded Dallas in recent seasons. To Smith, the Cowboys remain, at best, the third-best team in their own division, and until proven otherwise, closer to middle of the pack than true contender. Amid the debate, the change in offensive play caller has gone under the radar, with Brian Schottenheimer taking the reins from Mike McCarthy. Questions swirl around how the new offensive identity will take shape. Will Schottenheimer unlock a new gear for Prescott? Can he revitalize the run game, scheme better protection, and bring consistency to a unit that's often oscillated between brilliance and breakdowns? His pedigree is unquestioned, having grown up around the game and coached in numerous NFL systems. But his results will speak louder than any resume. Ultimately, The Dallas Cowboys are walking a familiar tightrope, one of promise and pressure. The offseason move suggests a franchise that is not content with simply making the playoffs, but rather one determined to finally break through the ceiling that has contained them for nearly 3 decades. With Prescott under scrutiny, Lamb blossoming into one of the league's premier receivers, and Parsons redefining the modern edge rusher, the core is in place. The challenge lies in building the structure around it, a task that requires shrewd drafting, disciplined coaching, and above all, execution when it matters most. And so, as the draft approaches and speculation continues, the Cowboys once again find themselves at the heart of the NFL's most compelling storylines. Love them or hate them, you will watch. You will listen. You will react. Because when the star is on the helmet, the spotlight is never far behind.